Well, good evening, everybody. I'd like to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Welcome to the February 2024 Jacksonville North Pulaski School District School Board meeting. Jacksonville North Pulaski School District will be the model school district where every learner is valued and empowered to become a successful, contributing member of society. It's our mission to foster a culture of ownership and accountability through partnerships that create multiple pathways for success. Mr. Moore, please call the roll.
Okay, Colonel Estelle, Daniel Gray,
Here.
Ava Colvin,
Present.
Jim Moore here, Ron McDaniel,
Present.
Dina Tony,
Here.
Lauren Martin,
Here.
Laura Walker.
Here.
There you are. Everybody's here.
Thank you, sir. You'll join me as we stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. McDaniel. Yes, sir. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, we've got a packed house this evening. Welcome, everybody. First thing we've got on our agenda is special presentation. Dr. Owa.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. We have a few more than what we have listed. The first group we would like to call the Persevering Pearls of North Pulaski. I believe Dr. Phyllis Anderson is the president. If you all will come forward to the podium.
There's Ava. Yeah.
In Dr. Phyllis Anderson's absence, I am the second vice president, Stephanie Tucker, and we have collected warm items for the district. I think like 308 items, that we would like to donate today on behalf of the Persevering Pearls. And just to say a little bit about our organization, we are currently an interest group with Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority that will be chartered here in May. So we're looking to partner with North Pulaski and service this area. So it would be Sherwood, North Little Rock area, and Jacksonville. Okay, hold on. Let me.
I have that problem. Here we go, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Next, we'll have Dr. Janice Walker to come, and she'll present the remaining 4.
Good afternoon, or should I say good evening?
Good evening.
It is always an honor to stand here, especially when we have staff members we're going to honor tonight and recognize along with our scholars. And so as I look out here, I see our scholars, I see parents, and I see staff here to support. So I'm going to call up Ms. Darrington. She has a Special Olympic athlete recognition. Sherry, do you have anybody else to bring in?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Good evening, board. I'm going to call up Dr. Penrod and Dr. Kortsmeyer. They're our physical therapists, and they head up our Special Olympics. They're our coaches. And I'm going to ask Dr. Owak to come down. We've got special trophy presentations for our bowling medalists for Special Olympics. And we're going to ask the Olympians to stay up front on the steps, and we're going to get a picture with everybody. You go ahead and do whatever you're going to do.
I'm Allison Penrod. I'm one of the physical therapists for the district. This is Dr. Kortsmeyer. She's also a physical therapist for the district. I also want to give a quick shout out to our OTs who are not able to be here tonight, but they help us spearhead this. It's Brittany Smith, Robin Gardner, and Jessica Stacy. So we're thankful for them and all their help, and also for all of our teachers that we could not do it without these scholars teachers. So thank you all for answering and helping when we send these emails. We are going to start with the ones that are here, and then we'll recognize the rest afterwards. Lamar Reddy. LaRoyal Fraser. LaRoyal got gold, and then he got bronze at the state meet. Christopher White. Christopher Ford. Hold it, please. Corbin Brackett. Corbin got silver. Marissa Clanton. Marissa got gold. Luis Angel Desperado. Luis got fourth place. Uzziah Pringle got sixth place. And then Dustin Manier. Dustin got fifth place. Dustin's mom's gonna come accept the award for him. We're gonna quickly just read the names of those that aren't here. Solomon Holloway received gold. Katara Malone really received fifth place. Lamarcus Turner, fourth place. From Merle Taylor Elementary, Kingston Conley received silver. Draylon Miller, silver. And then at middle school, Destiny O'Neill received silver. Kalena Rugeley, silver. Matthew Rugeley, silver. Matthew Rugeley, fifth place. And then Kayshawn Young got gold, and then bronze in state. And for our high school athletes, Michael Booth got silver and fourth place in state. Kaylee Brewer got bronze. Orion Cooper got bronze. Tiffany Luther got silver. Davion Morris, silver. Elizabeth Hyde, silver and fourth place in state. Kyle Tevitt, silver and silver in state. Khalid Wells, fourth place. Jemiah Williams, silver and fourth place in state.
There we go. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Good job. Thank Our next presentation is from Phi Beta, and I'm going to have Ms. Jones, principal, to come up.
Good evening. January was our month at Phi Beta. The good just kept on coming in. And so I have 2 staff presentations and a student presentation tonight. The first staff presentation is an award that goes to one of our first year teachers, new to the district, new to Phi Beta. And she was actually nominated by one of her students' parents for the Veterans of Foreign Wars Scholarship. And she won the scholarship award for the whole entire state of Arkansas. I'll say your name. So, Mrs. McGar, we're so excited to have you at Phi Beta. Ms. McGar served 10 years in the United States Air Force and moved into teaching and has just been a huge blessing to Phi Beta and to our scholars. So we're so proud of you. And I have the Pretty Award I'll give you tomorrow. I couldn't get the prize. So congratulations, Mrs. McGar. I don't know if it was my hand. All right. And then our next staff member is Miss Melissa Reed. She is a third grade teacher at Phi Beta Elementary. She has been at Phi Beta for several years, and she was nominated as the Peer Teacher of the Month for the month of January in the state of Arkansas. And so she gets to do a nice big video presentation and answer lots of questions. I think they gave her a page and a half of questions. And she'll be making a video that will go out statewide for other teachers to see and learn from all the things that she does. So we're very proud of her. And then our final presentation goes to one of our 5th grade scholars. Ms. Brown, if you want to come up here and bring Mr. Camden Lawrence up here with you. And this is congratulations, Camden, on your hard work and excellence in education. We are so proud of your winning essay for the Daughters of the American Revolution essay contest. And we look forward to supporting you as you move on to the next phase of the contest. And so he won, his essay won for the Arkansas chapter of the American Daughters of the American Revolution. And so he'll be receiving another award on Saturday morning at their chapter meeting. And then his essay will go into a contest nationally. So, and One, two, and three. The board doesn't want to. You're welcome. One, two, and three. One, two, and three. Love it. Thank you. Congratulations. Our next presentation, I'm going to call Mrs. Brazzardi up. She is our AVID coordinator. She can share a little bit with you about what AVID is, and she'll recognize one of our schools and some of their staff members. Good evening. We are an AVID district. AVID stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. And we've been an AVID district for all of these years. We now have our first school that is AVID certified, and that's a big deal. That school is Jacksonville Middle School.
Mr. Miller, come on, y'all, come on.
So to be AVID certified, we have Mr. Case is an AVID site coordinator, but he's also an AVID elective teacher. And these are students typically from the academic middle who have barriers to reaching all the goals they want to reach in life. And so our goal is that every student is college and career ready. To do this whole school, Mr. Case has achieved a great number of things with his students, and under the leadership of Mr. Miller, the whole school has shown great improvement in the areas of the systems, leadership, instruction, and especially of culture. So we are so excited to have our first AVID certified school.
Just super proud of the work of Mr. Case. He is our lead teacher, so he helps to lead the AVID elective, which is focused on a particular set of students, but our goal is to be able to make sure that we expand on strategies school-wide to be able to benefit all of our scholars. So super proud of his work and also supporting Mr. Brazzardi in our district.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Love it.
Our last presentation is our data presentation, and it's coming from our curriculum and instruction team. And so I'm going to call Dr. Picard up, and she will take it from here, and her team will be sharing. Well, yes, we can. We're gonna get those cut out.
I'll start out by saying we were asked to do the data presentation tonight. And I asked Dr. Walker, what would you like us to present on? Because usually the schools present. And she said, the special programs and your partnerships and your grants and your pilots. And I said, how long do we have? And she said, well, not long. And then she came back a little while later and said, well, we have some more celebrations. Can you make it shorter? And I said, sure. What do you want us to present on? She said, same thing. I said, okay. And so then she came back a couple of days later and said, can you make it shorter? I was like, sure. And so we're going to do this in like 4 minutes. And so you have an actual copy of the presentation, so you can read all of it at any of your free time. But you usually hear from us about science and social studies, literacy and math. But we are just going to focus on our special programs tonight and our partnerships and pilots. So with that, I'll let the team take over.
Good evening. My name is Lori Stennett, and I want to update you on our virtual program Excel. As you can see, comparing the blue bars to the red bars, we have doubled our enrollment since August. And as of today, we're actually sitting on 107 scholars. We're really excited about that. This past July, we got our program approved by the State Board of Education for 3 years. We were the first public school in the state to be able to have that, and we're so excited about it. Is virtual for everyone? No, it absolutely is not, but it is the right thing for a lot of our scholars in our community. Some of the things that bring students to virtual is mental illness, students who need to accelerate, physical illness, behavior challenges in some of our highly mobile families, especially our military families. This is one more strategy that we're using to keep scholars here in school at Jacksonville and graduate. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Our Characteristics of Dyslexia program has continued to grow each and every year. You can see back in 1920, we had about 87 scholars identified, and that was just a list of names. And now we've grown to a full-blown Characteristics of Dyslexia program with strong policies and procedures, a talented roster of reading specialists who lead the work in the schools. And we are expecting exponential growth, particularly this year. A few days ago, we had about 47 scholars in our pipeline that we are looking to identify, with many more on the horizon. We've been working with Vicki King from ADE to better identify our scholars in kindergarten and first grade, doing that as a preventative measure. And I can tell you that we are one of the few districts in the state actually leading that work.
Good evening. I also coordinate our ESOL program, which is English as a second language. And what we really want you to see are a couple of things. We have scholars right now. When we printed this, it was 291. We're really close to 300, which is almost 7% of our student body, and representing 15 languages. And you can see at the bottom, that bar graph shows you the exponential growth. Those are new students every year. We have already doubled the number of new ESOL scholars that we had all of last year. So this is a rapidly growing population. Our scholars often outpace their peers in growth. And we have a team of 5 specialists that do tremendous work with these scholars. We're very proud of them.
So you're all very familiar with our Gifted Talent program. Presented at High Point. I am very proud. This was the 8th year in a row we have received unconditional approval of our program from DESI. So, no, go back and fix these things. Our program is fully accredited by DESI. We have the newest thing this year. Our K2 scholars are all receiving science instruction from their GT facilitators. So all K2 are receiving science instruction. We haven't had that in the past. We have one big opportunity, and that is losing students when they leave elementary and move to secondary. So we are trying to develop programs that will keep those scholars with us. One, we're seeing a partner right now, and UALR is working with us and considering to be a partner for our advanced academics pathway. We have our advanced placement program. Remember last year, our scholars, we had 5 who had the highest possible score on those exams. We have teachers who outpaced the global percentages as well as the state percentages. We're expecting those things to happen again this year. We've increased the number of scholars in AP classes. We have 170 students enrolled. They are scheduled for 300 tests. That means possible 300 courses that they can earn college credit for. And all of our teachers are endorsed by the College Board.
So I'll cover a few STEM-related topics with you tonight. The big announcement, we're going to extend our cyber program. Our new program by design will target 4 industry standard certifications. Another STEM-related topic, we have an after-school program that's kicking off called a rocket drone program that will be a product of Starbase Air Force. Also, there's a STEMliner initiative where we are selecting 2 students to pack up and then fly to NASA and back to C-130 here later this year.
Hi, Jen. So I also work with our partnerships, and the partnerships, we have lots of partnerships, but specifically these are the partnerships in our department we work with that are ones that focus on growing our academic scholars. We have our Jacksonville Reads program that we've grown within our own district and to build our partnerships out in the community to enhance literacy. City Year, you guys know about that. That's going strong at JES right now. UALR, we have a partnership with them on preparing teachers. We're also working with Pulaski County Adult Education to look at GED programs. Here up Arkansas is a new program that's going to work with a cohort of 2 grades of students with some very intense skill building and tutoring. And then finally our Ames UALR partnership that supports a lot of our students.
And if board members, so I can add 30 seconds to that. I just want to highlight how proud I am of this team because not only are they taking charge of making a priority of making sure our young people are able to read during the day, but they did an analysis and realized that in order for us to really make an impact, we had to go and support our parents. And so starting last year, they started an adult literacy. We started with ESOL parents, and that was a waiting list, and then they extended it to our other parents so that our parents are equipped with the same skills to be able to support their young people at home. So I just wanted to highlight the work that they're doing after hours as well. So.
Okay, so for a lot of things that are going on in the district, we didn't want to put the pressure of money on the district. So we've applied for every grant possible. In the past 2 or 3 years, I think 2 of the grants are math grants. We brought in almost $1.3 million to support those grants. These are what you see, and these all are just curriculum-related grants. Also, to take the stress off of finances, we apply for every pilot we can possibly use. We currently have a pilot going on at the high school. We have a math pilot. We have science pilots. You name it, we're getting anything that we can. A pilot basically means we get their services for free. And so they've been working with us. We get on as many calls as we can to make this happen. And so that's the other way to support the district.
So other than that, that's what we do, other than science and social studies and math and ELA and fine arts and CTE. These are the special parts of our programs. If you ever have any questions, you can ask me that, or you can always hunt us down because we are right here in the back of the building. Thank you.
Mr. Gray, that concludes the presentation for tonight.
All right. I see, next item on our agenda is a legal update. I do not see Mr. Richardson here with us this evening.
We don't have one.
All right, facilities update. Facilities, come on down.
I also do not have a presentation, so.
You want a picture with us?
I'll let Paul tell that.
I'm Crystal Rogers from Little Shell. First update on Biomeda, over in Area 1, the cafeteria. The one middle wall panels are being installed. The corridor block and ceiling is all where HVAC overhead is ready for inspection. All the units are on the roof in Area 1. And they are starting working on their transport installation this week. Area 2, which is your office, the media center, and the fine arts. Your ceiling grids are going to start in the office system. The brick is complete as well as the HVAC unit set on the roof. As far as the PE building, the inside has been primed and single windows have been installed. Over in the classroom wing, 345, all the tile is complete in the restrooms and the corridor walls. The epoxy is also complete in the game bathrooms and the kitchen restrooms. And millwork is also installed throughout the classroom room. For the site work, they were able to get the main entrance and the bus entrance board, which as you guys know, that's been a long time coming, and they're very excited to have that done. Storm drains are installing, and they are moving forward on that as far as visual center. Over at Model Taylor, my project, Area 1 in the kitchen, we are nearing completion on the tile, and we're working on the tile inside the bathroom. The metal wall panels are 95% complete in that Area 1 space. Stage framing is almost complete. We're going to start the rigging for the stage curtain by the end of the month. We're working on first set of posts, and the kitchen equipment is starting to install as well this week. Over in Area 2, which is the offices and the gym as well. All the bricks complete. Our storm windows are also installed. We're working on cleaning and the tile down the floor. In the classroom, 3, 4, and 5, we've got all the tile completed in the bathrooms, and they're working on the floorboards. We've got our soffit and trim at the PAV middle building, wrapping up that space. Our storefront door is being installed this month. All the units that can be started up this month as well, so we can start some permanent units and different conditions going on in the spaces. We are going to start business like this month as well. That's pretty much what I had. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Are we tracking still to be done on time?
Currently, yes, we are. I know the weather in January had everybody a little scared, but I believe right now our schedule is that still with the beginning of July.
Perfect. Thank you. Any questions? All right, thank you, man. Russ?
For me, no.
No?
Let me get this to Dr. Earl before I. No, it's not.
Thank you. But before you leave, Mr. Russ, there was a question that was brought to me about a possible expansion to the middle school. If you could share any updates. That's what this, okay.
Yeah, and that's just a quick site plan of where possible additions might go.
Yes, yes. So the question was posed to me, and I don't know if this is Martin wants this. She asked about additional space, our auxiliary gym with classrooms, what that would look like for potential possible conversation. And so I asked the team to come up with some of this.
You know, very quickly looking at, you could think that if there was an auxiliary gym, putting it there with the existing gym would be perfect. There's not much room there to put additional classrooms. So depending on how many classrooms you need, we would need to look at that.
So y'all just basically did the same expansion on the other wing, just added on another 8 classes? Or
Actually, yes.
12?
Yeah, it could be.
2 stories? Okay.
And so that part came from a conversation that I also had with the team about if we wanted to expand additional on that campus, what would that look like or where? And so this would be opposite of phase two. So where the basketball courts are, if we wanted to expand. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, some of the teachers or we received some feedback from the middle school asking if it was a possibility to have additional space in case so that we can separate our sixth grade students into a sixth grade academy on campus. And so the team actually went and provided us an option.
I will say that location would be a little bit painful to build just because you're right in the middle of everything. The gym would be a little easier. We have to reroute bus traffic during construction, but besides that, wouldn't be as disruptive.
And obviously, this would be quite a bit more economical than building a completely new junior high school instead of separating. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the last facilities update, Mr. Gray, if you would help us with the update on the ballpark that's north of Alameda Elementary School.
So apparently we own a ballpark in North Pulaski. I was not aware of it, but it's on the tax records, and I guess we inherited it when we detached from Pulaski County Special School District. And there was a lease in place for some families out there to maintain the ballpark with TCSSD. They would incur all the expenses for the benefit of using the park. It's been defunct and overgrown. We received an offer for the property and had a discussion with Dr. Owa. And I think the best thing to do is let's the tax records say one thing, but let's do a title search, make sure that there's no landmines out there, make sure we can convey title if we do sell it, and then also ordered a survey. So those were ordered last week, and that's ongoing. We have this offer. I talked to them and let them know kind of what we were doing, and they're okay to wait. And I think what we as a board need to decide to do is, what's the best course of action? We've got this piece of property. I don't have all the details, but it's 4 or 5 acres, somewhere in that range. The ballpark. There's lights and baseball fields and fences. And we own it. Well, that's what we're gonna make sure that we do. But my recommendation is once we know exactly what we have, is to possibly do market analysis and try to come up with a price and post it, list it for sale publicly, and maybe set a deadline for other offers to come in. And then once we have that deadline, we can look at all the offers and decide how we want to respond. If there's just the one offer, then we can obviously respond to that and kind of go in more detail. But I just wanted to bring it up for discussion. I'm happy to coordinate all that stuff pro bono and help in the process, of course, but that's where we're at. Anybody have any problems or suggestions other than what we're doing? You can pay at least $1. At least $1? No, that's okay. Good. But I gotta complicate things.
All right. That concludes the facilities update. There are not any questions.
All right, next item we've got is our district reports.
So superintendent's report, a few things. We've received some questions from a board member and then some of our licensed staff members regarding our parental leave policy as well as our tuition reimbursement policy that we have. Right now, to be eligible, our employees would have to sign a 2-year promissory note. And so the question, which I feel like, and I definitely support, was asked, what if our families who are tied to military have orders? Would we truly make them repay that leave monetary, whatever that monetary amount is, or the tuition that was given to them, reimbursed to them? And so the proposal that I want to get your thoughts before I went back to the PTC groups to start the process of maybe revising this policy, see what your thoughts were to amend the current policy and to state if we received official orders from the military that we would honor that and not have our employees have to pay back those funds.
Sounds good to me. Sounds like a military clause we put in our leases and other documents. So.
And the next thing, well, any other questions, concerns? Okay. The next thing is, of course, we were out 5 days a couple of weeks ago, and we received notification from the state board, from DESE, about our options. And so because we're on a 178 calendar, we could easily just add those. We do have 5 days built into the calendar for this year, and so we can just move forward with those additional 5 days. I will share that the forecast, meteorologists are saying that we may have inclement weather this month. And so if that happens, we would have to push back to the second week of June. But we also have an option to, one, propose to you all, our PPC, and then to DESE, the alternate calendar, to move forward with the alternate calendar. So instead of 178 days, we would be required to have 1,068 hours. And so the team has been working on this, and they've computed if we were on the alternate calendar right now, we would be over 9 days. And so not only would we be able to cover those 5 days, we would have 4 additional days if we have inclement weather. So the recommendation is that we apply for the alternate school calendar for this year. And then also, once it's approved based on the commissioner memo that we received, if you all approve it, then we will take it to our PPC boards, our PPC committees for their approval, and then we could submit the application. I will say no pressure, but if we can get this in by February 15th, we can have the state board during that special board meeting this month to act upon this application. And so I want to bring those options up to you tonight.
Make a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation.
Second.
Did you make a recommendation?
Yes, that we submit application for our alternate school calendar for this year. Yes.
All right,
For the hours.
discussion. Can you explain how this actually works?
So we are required to either have 178 student days, or with the alternate school calendar, have 1,068 hours. Right now, and that kind of computes to about 6 hours each day. And if you have students in school, you know our students are there longer than that. And so based on the number of hours that we have in our school calendar, our students are in school a lot longer. I believe elementary was over 100, and middle and high school was a little bit less than that. But based upon if we went the alternate school calendar, we would have enough hours within the rest of the school year for 9 days that we could pull from if we have inclement weather. So those 5 that we already have, we wouldn't have to make up. And that's how Cabot is actually doing it as well.
So does the bell schedule actually change?
No, all the bell schedule will stay the same. And we need it to stay the same because that's where the hours,
So
where
we're
we
just
get hours,
changing like the
the requirement.
algorithm of how we calculate the day,
We're calculating hours instead of days.
but we're not actually adding any time.
No, we're not adding any time, and we're not taking any
Like
personnel time either. So we're not taking anything from, so our average, our employees work about 8 hours or 7.5 days, and our students are in there a little over 6, about 6 1/4 or 6 3/4.
Junior high and high school, junior high and middle school are there for 380 minutes a day, and then elementary is there for 400.
So really, we banked, if we were under the alternate school calendar, we would have banked all of our hours already. And so the proposal, the recommendation is to move to the alternate school calendar so we can count hours instead of physical days.
So we're just changing the way we report to.
Right. So we would, if approved at each level, our team would just enter the fact that the alternate calendar of hours in the school system, and they would start. They would.
And
That's where our accreditation comes
when
from.
did we make the choice previously to go with days versus hours?
When we made the choice when we submitted the calendar for last year, at this time last year, with 178 student days, and the fact that we did not apply for the alternate school calendar. So a district will have to proactively apply to be under the alternate school calendar.
So that's for this school year. So like for next school year,
That's
can
coming up.
we go, okay. We can go ahead and do that for next year, so we don't have to ask for permission to change.
That's going to be our.
Is there any chance that they would not approve us for the this year?
It's a good question. I would like to say no because they offered that as an option to us. And several other school districts have already started the process. They met with their boards earlier. And so earlier in the month. And so, well, last month and were approved. So I don't see a reason for us not to.
Any other questions? I understand. All right, here we go. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? There are none. That passes unanimously. Next item, sir.
The last thing I have is the legacy walk. We have 9 applications, and so the next step that you all approve is that you all will receive the application with the rubric. And so you will receive that tomorrow so that you can score. Once we get those back, we can provide, can't remember, but team, did we say how many that the board would do this first time?
I think it was up to the board how many they wanted to do on the first time around.
So you all will receive the packets tomorrow with the rubric so that you can score them, and then we'll move to the next step. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much. Next item we got on the agenda is the consent agenda.
Oh, if you can see that.
Do any reports from the PPC? Come on down.
I am Jenny Platt. I am a member of the PPC and the reading specialist at JES. I have with me tonight Kristen Angel, who's also on the PPC and a reading specialist at BGLE. And I think we have Miss Candy in the back, who is the librarian at Bionita. We are presenting regarding the calendar for this school year. So the PPC conducted 3 Google form surveys this year to get staff feedback on a calendar preference for next year. The first one was just to kind of collect general feedback, and there in that feedback there was a request for an alternate calendar. So we did a second form that gave examples of what an alternate calendar would look like that the state allows us to adopt. From that survey, 47% preferred an extended instructional day, 49% preferred a year-round option, and 3% preferred a traditional calendar. At this time, we did not survey for a 4-day week calendar. Based off of that survey, we do recommend that the district survey other stakeholders regarding a year-round calendar because that is highly favored from our staff. The third form, the last form that we sent out was regarding the PPC calendar that was created as well as the district calendar that was proposed from central office staff. The staff preference for that, 241 people responded, and 75% preferred the extended instructional day that PPC is recommending. The reason behind that was that for this year, it's not quite equitable if we were to switch over to instructional minutes, if we earn that waiver, it's not equitable for the staff members or the scholars because the instructional minutes are not balanced. And so some of your teachers are working longer, not longer contracted time, but longer time in the classroom, as well as secondary scholars and elementary scholars are not receiving the same amount of instructional minutes. So with the calendar that we are proposing, we are asking that we have 15 minutes to the secondary day. It would still be within the 8-hour teacher contract, so it would not change the teacher contract. With extending the instructional day by 15 minutes at the secondary level, all scholars would receive 395 instructional minutes equally across the district, and teachers would deliver 1,099 instructional hours. So that would allow us to each have 7 days, snow days built into the calendar, looking in the future. Our calendar also has as a benefit that each quarter we have the instructional or professional development built in on the front end of the calendar that the state requires. But if you look through the calendar, each month or each quarter there is a teacher workday built in. This would allow teachers to work on report cards, data entry, curriculum planning, prepping for parent-teacher conferences. Parent-teacher conferences will also be a no-scholar day, which means the teachers would have, they would work a 12-hour day, just as we do now, but instead of 4 12-hour days, we'd work 2 12-hour days, and that will give the parents the option to come during the day or in the evening to meet their needs. So, any questions for us? I know it's a lot of information. And shout out to Miss Logan, because we could not make this math work if it wasn't for her. So,
What's our deadline as far as when we need to make a decision? Or what's, and
So the calendar, having a finalized calendar starts the process for planning for next year. So we cannot roll over with starting our e-finance or e-school. So budgeting for next year, nor master schedule planning cannot take place until they put in the new calendar. And so timeline, between now and March, anything past March, we would be in not so good
well,
place.
I would be, I mean, just hearing a great presentation, and there's a lot of information here. My concern for just the year-round option, just the sound of that, I don't know, I mean, it might be the greatest thing ever, and parents may love it, but I think that would be like, I would say we need to take a lot of time to get
Yes,
stakeholder
obviously.
input, and like, that would be like a year-long discussion.
and
versus
that's not a calendar option we're proposing at this time. We are proposing the extended instructional day at the secondary level by 15 minutes. That would convert to what Dr. Ola was previously talking about, instructional hours or minutes versus the 178 scholar day. But we do recommend that we, moving forward, we do look into the year-round calendar because there's such a heavy staff preference for it, that we see how our parents would support that option. So, and with that option, basically you, the calendar that we put out takes about a week each month off, and that would provide support for teacher burnout as well as promote more scholar retention because we wouldn't have the summer school hours. There's a lot of research that supports it. And when we went back and said, hey, we're for sure going to instructional minutes option next year in some way or another, a lot of questions came up. Why not the year-round option? So, but we realized, yes. But it is something that takes quite a bit of future planning before we get to this.
For sure. I'm sure we'll get a few phone calls just from talking about it.
Yes, yes. But at this time, we are only recommending the extended instructional day at the secondary level for equitable instruction.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question. I'm just looking at spring break and it keeps getting later and later. Is it gonna be in April next year or they're gonna start back at March? It actually was the week before. We had it on our original calendar the week before, but, had it moved theirs up for some reason. And so
That's
I
something
thought
that's
spring break was set by the legislature.
Yeah,
I
it is.
didn't know if it's state.
The start day
Well,
of
we
school.
had that conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, it was in the past. Everyone in the state, K-12, and as well as higher ed, all had the same spring break. And so Erica, were you able to look into that? We can look into that. But typically, if they were all on during the same time period, because like you said, it was in state legislation.
Do we just change it to, do we
do we just move it to an alternate week, or, I mean, to these last week or more, because it's always been a third?
As of right now, from my understanding, the State Department sets the first day of school as well as, spring break. And those are two things that we cannot manipulate.
I just wish that, I would like us to verify the spring break dates or whatever, because I'm thinking about me as a college, I don't remember, that's, because we have to follow the same guidelines with the spring break. I don't remember it was before, so I just wanted to be sure for that.
In our original planning, as Nathaniel said, we were looking at the week of March 17th, but as we were doing our calendar development, it was brought to our attention that we had to push it back to the 24th to align with surrounding districts in the state. So I believe Ms. Logan's going to follow up on that to verify that this is developed off of the guidance that we were given as of right now. And so,
From what I'm seeing, an initial review, that's pretty much what around the state, that 24th through the 28th.
it was also very interesting to find that this year the state is actually for August 20th, which is a Tuesday instead of a Monday. So that was an interesting change of events as well.
Now, that we actually have flexibility on. We can actually start on the 19th. Anything before the 19th, we would have to submit a waiver to start, for an early start. But the district didn't opt into starting that. So we can actually start on the 19th if we so choose.
Was there a reason why we decided on the Tuesday versus the Monday?
Team?
No, not really on that. I think it was just something that PPC, when they looked at that, but then when we get to the proposed district calendar and you get front load, I think a lot of it was like PD days versus the curriculum planning days. So we had some flexibility there that we could alter those days in August.
Okay.
So it's my understanding that we have to do this before March, is that correct?
It's actually on our agenda for this evening, right?
Yes, it is.
It's coming up, we have a little extra time.
Stay tuned, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Okay. Thank y'all very much, appreciate the report. Okay, next item I've got is the consent agenda. We've got the minutes of January 8th, assistant superintendent's reports, and then also the financial report. Is there anything on those reports that needs to be pulled out for discussion?
I'm not sure I missed it, but I didn't see the check register. And,
Financial report?
So Cognos is still down? Yes. So our system, so as soon as Cognos is back up, we can send that out to you.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions before we vote on that? All in favor? Any opposed? Consent agenda passes as presented. Next item, we've got the 24-25 district school calendar approval.
Yes, Ms. Logan and Dr. Walker will present on behalf of the administration.
I'm just gonna start off to recognize PPC because they did put in a lot of work. And, they have really tried hard in getting all voices heard, so thank you. Some of the things that we picked up in this housing you can jump in. If you look at the PPC calendar, there's an attachment there. And we recognize their efforts, or I don't know if you share that with them, but you may not have that part. There was some positive feedback, and so I want you to see that slide. Just like that. But there were some concerns that we had, because when we look at our calendar, we have to think about our entire district. So when you look at the student days that on the PPC calendar, our classified staff will lose days. And I think we calculated 12 days that they would lose off of their contract because we're going to hours. So that is going to be a factor as well. And then elementary start time, and then the high school teachers. I think Ms. Fisher's school, what is that the scholars would come at 8:05. What I read was 8:00, they would get off the bus and go directly to class, which is at 8:05. Right. inquired about when they would have breakfast, because right now, we have about 25 minutes for those scholars who wish to eat breakfast.
So when they come in,
They would not have that time frame to have breakfast.
so I'm gonna let, did I miss anything? So just for clarification, going back to the classified days, so the proposed PPC calendar, their student calendar, the students would only be in session for 157 days. Whereas right now, under our traditional calendar for 178 days, when we look at calendars, everybody's calendar is limited to their job that they work. So for instance, a paraprofessional, they're on contract for 179 days because they work all 178 days where the students are in session, and we give them one additional day for PD. So if we go with the PPC calendar, the students are only going to be in session for 167 days, where they're used to, they're used to working 179 days. We just can't give them those 12 free days from a financial standpoint, and we don't have the work for them to do for 12 extra days. We have some training that they can do, but if you look at the central office proposed calendar, we're recommending that we have the students in session for 174 days. We're not going to change their contract. We're still going to allow them to work 179 days, but we're going to make up that 5 difference by offering them, professional development and additional training, CPR training, and that's not just the paraprofessionals. We've got security officers to come into play where they're on. We give them the student days plus 5 additional training days, so we can capture their 5 days of training before school can start. So right now we're having that throughout the school year. So there's a lot of people out there that are going to lose days if we go with that PPC calendar, just because from a financial standpoint, we can't just give them that 12 additional days. Another thing to consider is like that 5-hour or 5-minute window. So you have the teacher day that they're proposing is starting at the high school, is the teachers will arrive at 8 when you have students arriving at 8:05. So everyone gets a 5-minute window for teacher arrival from students in seats getting instructional hours. So typically we like to have about a 25-minute window from when teachers arrive to when that first minute of instructional happens, just in case, teachers run late or whatever the case. Because right now we might have classrooms that if a teacher running late or gets stuck on traffic, we're not going to have a teacher in the room because they're, running 5 minutes behind or whatnot. Some additional, yes. I know we got with transportation and we have them look at their proposed start times. And transportation told us that they would not be able to, to sustain their start times that they're proposing. So that would require additional buses that we don't have yet, or additional staff that, as hard as it is to get buses. Mr. Lester, I think, is still here, so we can kind of talk some more as far as how many routes we would have to add to sustain that 15-minute start time before what we're used to. I think, do you remember how many routes it was? 10. Yes. So we would have to add 15 additional bus routes to sustain that 15-minute window. What else?
5-meter route as well.
Another kind of concern is if you look at their proposed PPC calendar, they're offering 1 parent-teacher day. So, that only gives parents that 1 day to do their parent-teacher conference. Yes, it's an extended day for the 12 hours, but if I've got 2 kiddos and I can only do it after work, I'm having to, try to manage to go to 2 different schools on just 1 day versus traditionally we offer a Tuesday, Thursday. You can do, knock 1 kiddo out on a Tuesday and knock another kiddo out on a Thursday just to kind of, help with transportation and things like that. Yes. So on the central office calendar, they would still have the 4 parent-teacher conference days that you see, but those teachers will still work an extended day, and they are getting paid for that time. So we built in 2 additional days to encompass the overage on that, that they're getting paid for those hours. And then, just another concern we had, again, back to the student days for the 167. I know I'm a component, and I think, the members that met about the central office component, we don't want to strengthen the gap of time that the students are away from school. And, we look at it as kind of expanding that gap by having them, get out early from like May 21st, I believe, and then having them come back late August. We're really expanding that gap. We're also expanding the gap on a longer Christmas break as well. So kind of options to consider. both good options, but those are just kind of some of the concerns that we wanted to point out on the PPC calendar that we noticed.
And on the overage for 24-25 at the elementary level, in case of, we were open over 11 days and then 4 days at middle and high.
Yes. So basically that means that we just, in either version, will meet the state requirements for the 1,068 hours. The PPC version had more days built in as overage versus the central office calendar, where we have 4 days built in for like the snow days if we have inclement weather. That allows us to have 4 days that we could miss school that we wouldn't have to adjust our calendar. But we have those curriculum planning days built in as well. So say if, we have, I think, one in March. So if we get a snow day, if we have 5 snow days in January, we've exhausted the 4, we can turn that 1 day in March into an instructional day and make up for that day without still adjusting our calendar. So we can be flexible on those days.
And when I met with PC about our calendar, they did ask us to make one change for fall break. We originally had it on October 25th. They asked if we could move that 1 day and make it November 1st. And so we did accommodate them with that.
Any more questions? More a lot of information. I think I had PTSD from the word calendar.
Any questions?
I did have a question. On the PPC committee, is there any secondary teachers that are there?
Yes, we have a representative for both the middle school as well as the high school.
Hold on. Tell us about the process as far as how the PPC meets and how the district central office meets to come up with their plan. And then you mentioned, Dr. Walker, that when you met with PPC, how often does that collaboration take place between the two calendars?
Well, what we do is PPC is tasked with coming up with their own calendar. And I come to their meetings if they invite me or Dr. O. According to the law, you can't just run bars their meeting. But if they say, we can say, it's time for us to look at our calendar. We need you to get with your all of the certified staff, and the PPC for classified is the same way. Mr. Lester kind of task them, I kind of task and give them information. Then they take it back, do the surveys, and then come back. And we meet after every board meeting on Tuesdays. I don't just go to their meeting. If they say, can you answer some questions for us? What does the law say about this? I do all of those things to support them in that way. And we did that with them as they were developing their calendar as well.
How often do y'all meet?
As Dr. Walker said, we meet after Monday night board meeting, we meet the following Tuesday, and then as needed virtually.
Gotcha. All right. Any other questions? Very good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
What is the superintendent's recommendation?
My recommendation is that we approve the calendar that was developed by central office, considering the student, staff, and all the legal requirements that we have to have.
Okay, we got a recommendation?
I'll make a motion for
A second. Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That passes unanimously. All right.
Mr. Gray and board, I will say that we are willing to survey our parents about a potential.
Yeah, I would suggest a workshop and some further discussion and educate us and definitely educate the parents. And I'm just kind of scary. That's a big change.
Can I ask one question about the central office calendar? So right now, the middle school parent-teacher conferences are not the same day as even the same week as the elementary. Is that going to change next year where it's all the same week?
They're all the same at the same
time frame. If you look at the calendar, it's the 22nd and 24th of October, and it's district-wide parent-teacher conferences, and again in March, the 18th and the 20th.
Okay. And that'll take place after grade review, correct?
Yes,
It will take
Are
place
they-
After grade review?
yes, because
Yes.
the green dates or highlighted dates are in the quarter. So, yes, so the 16th of October and then the 14th of March. So,
Yeah.
yes.
There's lots of middle school parents that are trying not to kill their children, so.
All right, legal transfer requests.
Yes, we have 3 requests before you. Request number 1 is for Scholar and Lonoke School District to transfer into the Jacksonville North Pulaski School District. Request number 2 is 1 scholar out of Jacksonville North Pulaski transferred to Mayflower. And then the third request is request for 3 scholars to transfer out of Jacksonville North Pulaski School District into the Cabot School District. The recommendation is to approve all legal transfers.
All right, we got a recommendation. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Next item I've got is a personnel report. Is there any addendums that need to be added to the agenda?
Make a motion, we add the addendum for this personnel.
All right, all in favor of adding the addendum to the agenda?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. So now we've got the original personnel report plus the addendum added there. I believe we've got a recommendation to approve as presented.
Yes, sir.
Are there any questions? If there is any questions or discussion, that would need to be held in executive session. If not, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Next item we've got is student disciplinary actions.
Yes, sir. Before you, you have 5 uncontested hearings and 1 contested hearing.
All right. My suggestion is let's do the 5 uncontested together now, and then we will take a short comfort break and reconvene for the disciplinary hearing. Everybody all right with that? All right. And those are on your device, right?
Yes, sir.
And we've got, is it 5 uncontested? No, 4? 3 uncontested?
Mr. Smith.
Okay, I've got 2 on here. I've got 1 on here twice.
Mr. Smith.
All right, so I entertain a motion to approve those as recommended.
So moved.
All right, got a motion and a second to approve the recommendation of expulsions for students 1, 2, and 3. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Okay. We will take a short 5-minute comfort break and then reconvene for the contested student disciplinary hearing. We're in break.
Towering over all of y'all, look like a giant.
Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. There you go. Love it.
Take 20 of those.
And then you're looking at a bank. I think you had a lot of different colors. Oh, red.
Red.
That's right. I'm gonna go make that one.
All right, we're going to go ahead and call the meeting back into session. Our next item on the agenda is a contested student hearing for Tavar Chris Westbrook, Jacksonville High School. Miss Tanya Robinson, is that the parent? Are you here? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Got the scholar, Mr. Tavar Chris Westbrook. Am I saying that right? Tavar Chris, okay. All right, so
We're just calling TC because they have pronounced.
TC, I'm going with TC, thank you. All right, Ms. Robinson, do you desire this hearing to be open or closed to the public?
It could be open.
If it's open, anybody can hear anything or ask questions, and it's supposed, are you sure you want it to be public?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
And I just lost my screen. Okay. Okay. All right, so she would like it to be open. The law provides that this hearing will be held in open session unless requested by the student or parent to be closed. If the hearing is open, anyone, including the press, may be present. If the hearing is closed, only those who are involved in the conduct of this recommendation and hearing may be present. And you sure you want it to be open?
To the friends, it's fine. It's fine, however.
It's your decision. If it's closed, it's just us and y'all and the school district.
Okay, close.
Okay. All right, so the parent requests a closed hearing. The hearing is not open to the public, so all those not required to be present for the hearing will need to leave the room. And we will turn off the live stream feed as well.